So, I want to start this video by saying that those other people sitting in their cars making videos like this one make it look a lot easier than it is, because it took me like 20 minutes just to press record. That being said, I decided a month ago I would start doing these videos again. So here we are. Today I was watching an episode of Impact Theory with Brendan Burchard, and he has a book called The Motivation Manifesto I've referenced in older videos. But there are two big points that he talked about today that I wanted to talk about real quick. One of them was he talked about how to pretty much have success you need ambition and expectancy. So you need the desire for more out of your relationship, more out of your health, more out of your career. But then you also need expectancy. You need to believe that you can have it, right? You need to believe that you can achieve it. And that's where I see a lot of people get hung up. A lot of people come to me with ambition for their health. They want to lose weight. They want to get more mobility. They want to get stronger. They want to change their physical appearance and how they feel about themselves. But then the problem comes when it comes down to their belief that they can actually have this, that they can achieve this. And they start out and they're unsure and they don't really believe. And then things don't come fast enough for them, or whatever the situation may be. And I see a lot of people, I see this happen like in other people's lives, people I follow, people who aren't my clients, where they start something and it doesn't happen the way that they thought it would or fast enough, and they stop, they give up. And the thing with fitness that makes it even more difficult is by the time somebody hires a fitness professional to give them a hand in the process, typically they've already tried it many times on their own. They've tried to eat healthy, they've tried to exercise and quit, or gave up, or when things weren't happening the way that they thought they would, they just stopped. So people have a lot of that typically before they even come to me, and it becomes a problem because you need to know that you can achieve something like this, in order to have like that drive behind it. And it made me think about my own stuff and how typically if when I set out to do something, I have this like crazy self-belief where I've already decided I can do it before I even start, before I know what it's going to take, before I fully understand the process of all of it, just because I trust in my ability to learn what I need to learn and follow through and just make it happen. Whereas I see a lot of people decide to do things, and then when they see what it's going to take, then they stop, they give up, they quit, or they don't necessarily get there. And I think that a big part of that is that they don't believe that they can, and the timetable, I mean, it plays a part in it, but if I set out to do something and I know that I can do it, then the timetable, it doesn't really matter. If it's something that I truly want for myself, then if it takes 6 months, if it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, and it's something that I actually want, but I know I can have it, like I know I can get there, it changes things in a big way. Whereas if something's going to take somebody a year or 2 years, but they don't believe that it's even possible for them, then it's really easy to stop before you're even into the process, really. The first couple of weeks, like, that's nothing. The first couple months sometimes is nothing. Big goals take big time commitments, and so that brings me to the second point of what he talked about in this video that stuck out, and it's Brendan Burchard. It's Impact Theory. It's a great show. There's a YouTube channel, and a podcast, so I highly recommend it. But the second thing that he talked about was, he said, honor the struggle. And that shit blew my mind, you know? And I try to, you know, I've never heard it put that way, but I try to convey that to people. And honor the struggle really stuck out to me, because when we set out to do something, a lot of people look at the work that goes into it and the time and all of that as like this negative process. They perceive it negatively, you know, like people eating healthy food and doing cardio and showing up to the gym. Like, that's the process of getting to where you want to go. If you want a more fit looking body, if you want to lose weight and feel healthier and take care of your possible health conditions and or future health conditions. And so that's the process of it, and people view it so negatively instead of embracing that process and using that process to fuel it, you know. Honor the struggle. I mean, to me that means like, this is, you know, this is where I want to be, and this is where I'm at now, and this is the process to get there, and I'm in it, man. Like, I'm fucking doing it. And that in itself builds self-esteem, you know. When we set a goal and we go after it, and we are in the process, and I mean, for me, like, that's what fills me up, like, when spiritually and stuff like that. When I'm in the process of going after what I want, then I feel alive. I feel awesome, because I know I'm going to get where I'm going. Whereas I think that a lot of people get in the process and they see what it takes, and they don't necessarily believe, they don't internalize the fact that they can get to where they want to be. And I think that holds a lot of people back. Self-esteem is built from where we are now to where we want to be, and it's closing that gap of how we perceive ourselves currently, and our self our self image is where we're at now. Our self ideal is where we want to be. That's the highest version of ourselves in a specific area, and it's closing that gap from our self-image and our self-ideal that builds self-esteem. And that gap is the process. That gap is the cardio. It is the meals. And that struggle, that's building strength. That's growth right there. That's that gap. And for me, I love to be in that gap. I love building that discipline, that dedication, that commitment, that strength. I love knowing that I'm going to get to where I'm going, because I'm not going to stop until I get to where I'm going. And that also comes from that high belief in the fact that I'll get there. And I think that that's what people, or one of the big things that people are lacking, is that belief that they'll get to where they're going. You gotta have that. You have to know in the beginning that you have what it takes to achieve whatever it is that you're setting out to do, or you're gonna have a real hard time connecting with the struggle of getting there. So hopefully this helps someone. Thanks.